it's to make sure I'm set up and working, because obviously I have issues with running this. So there is that. And of course I'm trying to get my tablet set up so I can watch, and it's not cooperating. There is that. So we're here for a few minutes, and I suspect that I'm early, so there's not going to be a lot, but you know how it goes, right? In case you didn't remember, this is what we're doing today. The Ten Commandments, twice removed, and we're going to look at the first chapter today, and that's what's going to be that's what we're doing today. And I've got my listing down here in case I can see any comments, and I will have to try to talk. Hello Estelle, I'm so glad you joined me. I'm just getting started, not really talking about anything significant yet, but we're doing the first chapter of the book, and I'm excited I have one person here. Yay! We'll see how it goes. I don't know if I should just wait until more people show up or just start. What do you think? What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just read some of the stuff I highlighted in the chapter 1. The chapter 1 is called Twice Removed. And I'm just going to read the highlighted stuff that I watched, and I am going to go from there. So, we're going to start. It says, whose agenda are we following? With prayer prohibited in public schools, nativity scenes banned from public properties, and the Ten Commandments forcibly removed from government institutions, it makes me wonder. It does, doesn't it? Are life's decisions now based on political correctness alone? For one thing, disregard the Ten Commandments has fostered an acceptance of moral decay in our society. Contempt for God's commandments is flagrant within the entertainment industry. Sitcoms scoff at old-fashioned morals. Dramas mock God at every turn. The assault on American values has advanced teenage pregnancies, suicide, illegal drug trafficking, school violence, and killing sprees by acne-faced kids. Where there is no moral law, there is no law of decency to break. Sin must be defined for us to recognize we're trapped in its snare. God gave us a clear definition of sin in His Ten Commandments. Why is it important for our government to display the Ten Commandments if you believe they were nailed to the cross? If the Ten Commandments are so important to society, why do you keep only 9? I realized there was only one commandment I wasn't obeying. This is written by Danny Shelton and Shelley Quinn, and this is what they're saying. It says, I realized there was only one commandment I wasn't obeying, the Sabbath. After studying God's purpose for the Sabbath, I became a joyful Sabbath celebrator. God knew exactly what He was doing when He packaged all 10 commandments together. If we break one commandment, we are guilty of breaking them all. Do we have the authority to choose which of the commandments we want to keep? That's a good question. Do we? Bible writers prophesied a power would establish its own agenda and think to change the immutable law of God, the Ten Commandments. The archenemy of Christ propelled this plan into practice. He has already succeeded in removing them from the hearts of most Christians today. Once the truth is revealed, whose agenda will we choose to follow? That was just the highlighted parts of the first chapter. It's pretty much talking about just, the fact that the Ten Commandments are still important, and they discovered them after the fact, and they're trying to get back to following them. It's an interesting conundrum because where are we at with that? I don't know. It's definitely a conundrum. I had to have something hot to drink. I don't know why, because the air conditioner's running. Just because, I guess. I thought I would read you over Exodus 22 to 17. This is the Ten Commandments that they're talking about. Number 1, I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You shall have no other gods before me. That one's pretty easy. Well, not really, because we make gods out of everything. Even sometimes our family. That's an easy one to do. You shall not, this is number 2, you shall not make yourself a carved image or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water underneath, under the earth. You shall not bow down to them nor serve them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquities of the fathers on the children to the 3rd and 4th generation of those who hate me, but showing mercy to thousands, to those who love me and keep my commandments. Well, to me, carved images are easy. I mean, how many people actually worship carved images today? I just don't see it. There was a time when that was happening, but in this day and age, do we? I'll have to let me know if you think we do. Number 3, you shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain. Now, for the longest time, especially in my formative years, I was kind of informed that that meant no swearing. And I think it's a little deeper definition than that. I think it means if you're going to say you're a Christian, act like it. Don't take on the name Christian, which is supposed to mean Christ-like, and not act like it. But I could be wrong, but that's my perception. Is it good to be swearing? No, sound like a pirate. But I don't think that's what they meant here. That's just me. Number 4, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. In it you shall do no work, you nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your male servant, nor your female servant, nor your cattle, nor your stranger who is within your gates. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Pretty straightforward. You have 6 days to do whatever you need to, and the 7th is supposed to be dedicated to God. At least that's what it sounds like to me. I don't know. Number 5, honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long upon the land which the Lord your God is giving you. That's not always easy to do. Sometimes your parents are scary. Mine, unfortunately, were not, but some people's are. Number 6, you shall not murder. Now that one's pretty self-explanatory, and I think I can pretty much handle that one. I'm not going to go around murdering anybody that I know of. Number 7, you shall not commit adultery. I don't think my spousal unit would be very happy if I did. So no, that one's pretty easy. Number 8, you shall not steal. Yeah, that's not me. I wouldn't do that either. Number 9, you shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. I am not prone to lying, so I guess telling a story about a neighbor that's not true would not be up my alley. Number 10, you shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, nor his male servant, nor his female servant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor anything that is your neighbor's. Now that coveting. I always tell my BFF, she got this shiny new black truck. And it's like, I tell her, you made me commit, break the 10th commandment, because wouldn't it be nice if I had that? I'm glad to hear it. Estelle says she wouldn't lie about her neighbors. That's awesome. I'm glad you got the book, Estelle. I hope we can go through it together. There is a little problem of I'm going on vacation for a month and I probably will not have time to do a live during that, but in 2 weeks I'll do the next chapter, and then probably when I come back from vacation we'll have to finish the book. And that's simply because too many graduations going on and we're going to be roaming around, and yeah, I'm hoping it will be fun. It's a little stressful, everything happening as planned and on time, but that's my plan, is to get to all 4 graduations without a hitch, and then see a few people while I'm at it. We'll see how that goes. It's always good when it goes good, but not good when it doesn't. Thank you, Estelle. I will enjoy my trip. I really didn't have a whole lot to say today. This is kind of the beginning. I may want to get back to doing the women's one. I don't know if you remember. It's been like 2 years since I did those. Hello, Brenda. Thank you. I appreciate that. Tammy, I'm so glad to see you. I worry about you. That's awesome that you checked in. I hope you're doing okay. I think I kind of liked that book on the women in the Bible, and I'd kind of like to finish it if anybody's interested. And we did 2 or 3 of them, and there's a few more that would be good. Hello, Debbie. How are you? I'm so glad you made it. Anyway, if I can, I would like to get back to doing that one and finish it off also. So I have a few things planned out. I don't want to inundate people with lives, so probably every other week would be enough, not to scare everybody off, but it depends on you guys, what you think. If you could stand me every week, I'd do it, but I'm kind of a bit much, don't you think? So I'm thinking that that's what the plan is. We'll finish this book, do the other book, and if you all have questions, I would love to answer them, and we can go from there. It's all up to you. That's pretty much what I got to say about that. It's totally up to you what you guys are interested in seeing, and if you are interested in seeing this kind of stuff, I still in my head think I want to be some kind of missionary, and I'm not sure I'm fulfilling that purpose, so I keep thinking this might be something to help, but I'm not sure. Again, it's up to you guys if you want to sit here and listen to my drivel and listen to me read or whatever. So there is that. Well, thank you, Tammy. Tammy says that she looks at my videos. Are you one of the TV viewers? I have a lot of TV viewers, and I know that I watch some videos on TV and I can't figure out how to comment or anything, so. But I do have quite a few who watch on TV. That's really convenient. I like being able to watch on TV. It's just somebody told me I could have my phone with me and do it at the same time, so I probably should figure that out, but I don't know if I can swing that. Well, thank you, Estelle. I appreciate it. I'm not technological savvy. If you guys were here for the last one, you know I had problems getting it started. I went on and, you know, tried to do a set to start at a certain time. Well, apparently I can't just do that on my phone. You have to go to YouTube Studios to connect in. And I've got a YouTube Studio app, but I can't tell that you can do anything with that on the app. So I did put out a post. I don't think anybody saw it because there wasn't, but maybe they did. I don't know. So I wish I could do that live thing, but I don't think I can dredge it up on my computer. It's archaic, and I'm kind of archaic, and trying to do that kind of stuff is a struggle. So there is that. I don't think I'm going to bother trying to do that. I'll just post, you know, the posts where it's just a picture and there's writing with it, and say that I'm going to do it today, or, you know, the next one up, and then you'll know what's going on, and we'll go from there. Hey, Sue. That's all right. This was going to be a short one today, so I don't know how much you're going to get to see. I was just talking about, you know, what I'm thinking I'm going to do, so there is that. Debbie says, I haven't been here for a while, but enjoy listening to you talk after reading from your book. I'm a tech challenge. Yeah, same here. Valerie, hello. And she says hi to everybody. If you're wondering why I'm reading them, it's because I have more views after the fact than during, and so it's easier for the people who are rewatching to be able to see what's going on. Yeah. Brenda says she's ancient. That's me. I had a gentleman from my church come and ask me if I would help him order wheels from his phone, and I'm like, I think you're confused. I'm not technologically savvy. I do the very dumbed down YouTube. I don't have any of the frou-frou, and I don't know how to do the frou-frou, and it's just not happening. So there is that. It's just not me. Although I do have a brother who could probably do fancy stuff for me. She says, you reading the comments help with my poor vision. That's from Sue. She has poor vision. Somebody asked me one time, do you want to go blind or deaf first? And I'm like, why would you? It was probably one of those would you rathers. I hate those. I don't even know why I do them. And I'm like, well, that's not even a fun question. If you can't hear, you don't know what's going on around you. If you can't see, you can't do anything. I feel for you, Sue. I really do. It would be a struggle. I'm just old and falling apart. But fortunately, at least today, I can see okay. There is that. Like I said, this one's going to be short. It's just kind of a preemptory to let you know that I am going to be on here probably every other week, except for when I go on my trip, and I will try to have something from the book or not the book or whichever. Valerie says she had to buy adapters from her computer because there's different USB port sizes, and the lady at the store must have thought I was dumb. I would be in the same situation, Valerie, because in fact, I have a computer and I needed it to do a little bit because I make my cards on there and stuff. And my brother had to soup it up for me so I could even use it. And I'm so glad I have him because it wouldn't happen. And Tammy, she says, please continue to pray for us, especially the children, these children. Yes, Tammy, you are on my list. I will add children if that's what you so choose. If you've asked me to pray for you, you're on my list and you will stay on my list until you tell me to take you off. There is that. And so you technically get prayed for twice a day because you're on my personal list and on my, I have my devotional list, which is just the YouTubers. And then I have my personal list, which has the YouTubers and my personal list. Joyce, hello. I'm here for a few. I'm on my way home from the car and I'm listening, in the car and I'm listening. How cool is that? You're welcome, Tammy. She says thank you for praying for her. And I will continue. Like I said, once you're on my list, you're on my list until you tell me otherwise. So there is that. So not much else to say other than I'm just planning on doing a few, and I won't keep you very long today, and I appreciate each and every one of you who stopped in, and I won't probably be here next week, but the week after. I should have looked the date up, but I will have, again, a preemptory post, you know, just the picture that says what time, and it's probably going to be about 3 o'clock, same as last time. Now, anybody who still wants one of these books that we're doing, if you want one, please let me know because I will certainly ship one out to you if you're interested. Well, hello, Patty. I'm so glad you're here. Valerie, we're going, it's a big trip. Spousal unit has 2 grandchildren graduating in Arizona. Oh, that's really cool. Sue says that her youngest son passed his driver's license test today. Oh, that's great. I remember getting mine. That was fun. Anyway, if anybody still wants one of these books, you can let me know and I'll ship one off to you. I still have a couple of them. But we are going to go to Arizona for spousal units 2 grandchildren graduating. Then we're going to Minnesota where I have 2 grandkids graduating, different weekends. And then we're going to North Dakota because my oldest child lives there. In this, I will get to see all 5 of my children, all 12 of my grandchildren, and there's some friends in North Dakota that they're getting older and I don't want to miss out on getting to see them. So I plan it. We'll be gone about a month and I will actually get to see my sister out in Arizona, or she's technically in Nevada, but it's close to where spousal unit's son lives. So Valerie says, congrats to Sue, to your son, Sue. If I ran a sign on my, I ran a stop sign on my first test. My first driving test, I know you don't, my only driving test. My parents had it was called an Opal. It was a little station wagon and it was a stick shift, which I knew how to drive. And they had a Nova, Chevy Nova, that was an automatic. I wanted to take the Chevy automatic because in the town that we lived in, there was the main street went up like this and there was a stop sign, right, or a light. And I didn't want to get caught on that light, and I knew they would take me on it. But my dad was not cooperating. He took off with the car, so my mom had to take me in the Opal and I had to take my driving test. I'm still surprised to this day that I passed because I was nervous. I could drive it, I just was afraid I'd do something crazy wrong. Sue says, watch out for Floridian drivers. Yeah, I lived in Minnesota when I took my driving test, so. And Patty loves driving a manual car. Nice. Well, I was raised on them. I drove truck for years, so stick shift was not a big deal. But when you're 16 and somebody's going to be watching you, okay, the only one worse than that was when I took my CDL to get my CDL, and I get in there, and my spousal unit has taught me that you drive without using the clutch. I don't know if you know that, but the semis, that's what they do, is they drive without the clutch. So I get there to that driving test, and they want me to double clutch, and I'm like, momentary panic. Okay, I don't even know what that means. But there is that. Okay, Tammy, I'll get you one of these books sent out. That would be easy for me to do. I can do that. Sue says she has a fleet of invisible cars in her driveway. And Patty said she told her husband that I drove a truck in Miami one time. It seemed like every time. My spouse and I both drove the semi. And we were actually doing business out of North Dakota and California because we had to be business. But my sister was living in Florida, so for fun, we would take our vacations, but we would drive the semi. So we would get a load to Florida. And it seemed like we always were going to Miami, and it seemed like every time it was time for us to get into Miami, it was my turn to drive. It was my turn to drive when we went to San Diego. It was my turn to drive in Vegas. It just seemed like, I don't want it to be my turn when we get to the bad parts. We were talking about that today because we would go across I-10 across the bottom of Louisiana, and that is one bumpy road. And it seemed like every time that we were on that road, we would get to that bumpy one. It was my turn to be in the sleeping berth, and spousal unit's driving, and we're just bumping like this, and I'm supposed to try and drive. No, it wasn't happening. Patty says she's impressed, and Valerie says, me too. If you can drive a stick shift, you could drive a semi. You just have to make wider turns. It's not really that big of a deal, trust me. The thing that irritated me, see, here we go down this path. If my spousal unit was sitting here, he would laugh. But him and I went the same day to get our CDL. My dad took us down because he had a CDL, and we had to have a licensed driver when we went. So he went with us, and I told spousal unit, I have got to go first because if you don't pass, I won't, just because I will be terrified. So I went first. And so I'm driving. Well, actually, there's a pre-trip inspection, and the inspector made me go around the truck and point to every single thing. Everything. Anything that was supposed to be checked, I had to point to it, talk about it, everything. And then when I drove, he made me get up to speed on the freeway. I had to do everything. And then I got back and I passed. And so my dad said, I'm leaving because if he didn't want to be there if spousal unit didn't pass. Since I had passed, I could drive home. So spousal unit went. Well, then I found out, because he's a man, they just sat in the cab and he told him what had to be inspected. Didn't show him the parts on the truck. Didn't make him get the truck up to speed. Didn't make him do any of the stuff they made me do. I thought, how sexist. But we both got our license and we drove for 11 years. And it was mostly hauling our own equipment. But we did do back hauls, and like I said, if I wanted to go on vacation, we got loads and took them places. Sue says, I used to live in San Diego, so I'm aware of the crazy roads. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I used to live in California at one time. There is that. Valerie says, "Oh no, I knew you were going to say that." Yeah, we were together. You would have thought that they would have, well, maybe they thought we didn't talk. Some people, don't talk, so there is that. It might have been they thought we wouldn't talk about it afterwards. Oh, but I did. I talked about it. Anyways, it's a lovely day here. It's supposed to rain, so it's kind of overcast and it's making it cooler, and I'm probably going to go out there. Patty says, you're like me, Jean. You've been everywhere. Yes, I have. I've lived a lot of places, been a lot of places. I had big dreams of roaming around in my camper like some homeless person, and that didn't come to fruition, but that's okay. I'm great. Tammy, you grew up in California too? Where did you grow up at? I was born in Corona, California, and I lived in La Sierra most of my life. Let's see, how old was I? Was in 3rd grade when we moved. How old is that? 9 or 10? 9? Right around in there. Hey, Donna, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Oh, Sue said she moved around a lot with the military. That's funny. I was married the first time and I had 2 kids. And when I ended up divorced, I thought I should go into the military. That would take care of me. But I basically wouldn't be able to take my kids for most of the first ride around, so I didn't end up doing it. Oh, Deb says she's in Riverside, close to where you lived. Yes, that's very close. Norco. I know where Norco is, Tammy. Yes, our address was technically Riverside. If you wrote to me there, it would have been Riverside, even though technically I was in La Sierra. Sue said she married a Navy man. That's great. Anyways, I sure appreciate each and every one of you stopping by. I am going to let you go because I don't want to run your ear off any more than I already have. But I just wanted you to know I appreciate each and every one of you taking the time to stop by. Tammy, I will get this book sent to you. And I hope that this finds you guys all absolutely amazing. Stay blessed. Until next time. Maybe. Oh, yeah, Sue, I bet you did spend most of your marriage alone. Tammy says her teenage years were spent in Corona and the bowling alley. Okay, that's it. I'm seriously gone. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.